Hey everyone, what's going on? So today I'm going to be showing you guys a really cool Skull servant idea that I came up with that involves using Wight prints to just search and get like a ton of plus off of it. So I'm going to go right into the replays first, and I'm going to show you guys my deck list, which is pretty cool. I thought this deck's a lot of fun, and I've been wanting to do something with Skull servants for so long, and I've actually found a way to do something with them. So right here, this is a one card combo that just gets you so much value. So all you do is you normal summon Wight Prince, tribute it for Link Haribo, and then you get to send 2 more Skull Servants to your grave. All of that off of one normal summon. So it's really cool that there's such an easy way to put Wight Prince into the graveyard now, and then you just get all this, you just get so much off of just your one normal summon. And I said Allure of Darkness because I have 2 in hand. I didn't feel like I didn't feel like looking like I had nothing on the board. So before everyone's like, but Garo, that's a spell card. So we're just gonna go off so hard with this deck. And it's just insane how much this deck just puts out one monster, but it's just really hard to deal with. And again, I said Brilliant Fusion because I'm not going to use it at any time, so I might as well do something with it now. So basically, your opponent's kind of backed into a corner at all times once you get to King of Skull Servants, because at any time you can just get this thing back onto the board and slam them for so much damage so quickly. That's just crazy how fast you can just destroy them with this giant monster. And that's it right there. So I'm gonna show you guys one more replay in the deck list, but let me know what you guys think about this deck down in the comments below. And while you're down there and you scroll past the description, you can find the Garo Gaming Patreon, the Twitch, the Twitter, and the Facebook page, as well as the official Garo Gaming Discord channel. So check all that stuff out, and we're gonna get right to the next replay. Alright, so we're gonna get right into this next replay now. So, this one is against a Metaphys dinosaur deck or something. I wasn't really sure, just Giant Rex. So, as I was saying before, this deck just generates a lot of advantage off of just activating 1 or 2 cards at a time. And it just does so much. It puts a lot of your resources right into the grave, which this deck needs. And you can pump out something like a Skull Servant King with 4,000 attack turn 1. That's really, that's important for this deck to be able to make this big guy really fast. And before you guys ask, the reason that I didn't use Evenly Matched turn 1 was because I was only going to banish 1 card versus later on. And this deck does struggle with holding a board, which I've noticed, which makes Evenly Matched even better. Because there's going to be a lot of the time where you're not going to leave your opponent's battle phase with much on your board left. And since this deck is pretty much going to be all spells and monsters, having this in your hand is pretty helpful. So there I went and I used it. And now Unizombie, it's cool for Synchro Summon, but I'm not going to really use it that much. It's kind of just to dump Mizuki, Wight Prince, and other options into my graveyard. So there's just a lot of ways to make King of the Skull Servants with this deck, as well as just kind of making boards, doing damage. That's what this deck really does well, and that's what makes it a really cool deck to use. And it can also make use of Link Haribo, like you see there, how it can just use Link Haribo to dodge Coral Dragon's effect. And now that's where the game's basically going to stop here, because Brilliant Fusion is really cool in this deck. The reason that I play it is because there's only one light target in the deck, but it's a Skull Servant, so 1, it can make your king have more attack, 2, you're going to get another normal summon, and 3, you can make Beel's Leg right here, and go for game. So there wasn't really much that he could do there. And that's about it. So let's get right into this deck profile for you guys. Alright, so to start off, I'm just going to say that a lot of this deck is pretty standard stuff. It's mostly going to be the extra deck that's very revised for playing Link monsters. So to start off, there's going to be 1 Garnet to go with the 3 Brilliant Fusion, 3 Skul Servant, 3 Mizuki, 3 Wight Princess to go with Brilliant Fusion, as well as being an extra name, 3 Unizombies, since as I mentioned before, it can dump a Wight Prince, it can get rid of Skul Servants to bring back with Book, it can get rid of Mizuki. It does a whole lot for this deck. It's basically 3 more Foolish Burials. Then there's 3 Lady in White. That's basically an extra name, and also because I need it for Wight Prince. 3 Ash Blossom, or Ghost Ash. So, something else that you guys probably haven't noticed is Ash Blossom is a zombie, so it also works with Mizuki, as well as being able to negate 3 different things. So it's still an insanely good negate, and it just gets better in this deck just by being a zombie. Next up is 3 Wight Prince. This is like a very bread and butter type thing for this deck. What you do is use normal summon, as I did, and you sack it for a Link Revo, and then you get its effect. Which is just really cool, because this deck doesn't need to like discard it from your hand or send it to the grave anymore. And it just makes this deck a whole lot faster, as well as getting out a Link Revo. And right now, Link Revo is just a really good card. Like, the main problem with Link Revo is it is a when effect, meaning it has the same problem as Maiden with Eyes of Blue, where if your opponent attacks it and say they like flip Mystical Space Typhoon, it can cause Link Revo to miss timing and not be able to activate its effect. It's very unfortunate. Next is 3 King of the Skul Servants. Pretty simple choice. 1 Unexpected Dia, so I can just get a free Skul Servant. 3 Allure of Darkness. 3 Book of Life. A 1-for-1, a Raigeki, an Upstart Goblin, which I considered making another evenly matched, because as I mentioned before, this deck does struggle with holding a field, but it's kind of just like a beatdown deck where it can afford to lose a board because it can just come back from it with a giant monster. But yeah, I think Upstart Goblin is still a solid choice. Foolish Burial, just because it puts another name into the graveyard. 3 Brilliant Fusion. This is something I don't think I've seen in a lot of people's builds, though I think it's really good, because Wight Princess isn't searchable, so you should almost never end up with it in your hand or in your grave, aside from using Brilliant Fusion. So I think it works very well in this deck. And finally, an evenly matched. Now for the extra deck is 1 Seraphonite, 1 Beals, 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, 2 Omegas, a Black Rose Moonlight, and a Black Rose Dragon, a Disdainful Bird of Paradise. This card was, I believe it leaked a while ago, and what it does is it's unaffected by card effects, and then it can make itself indestructible in battle or by other card effects, and you take no battle damage. So it's kind of cool. It's, a lot of rank 1s aren't that good, so this just seemed like the best choice overall, because it kind of buys you an extra turn, in my opinion. Next is a Borolo Dragon, Decode Talker, Akashic Magician, Crystron Needle Fiber, and Needle Fiber can grab the Unizombies, or if for some reason you want to get Ghost Dash. 1 Link Spider, kind of just because if you open Garnet, you can get rid of it and then special summon the Skul Servant. And 2 Link Revos. So yeah, that's my build of this deck. I found it to work pretty well, and it's a lot of fun to play this deck. But again, let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments. And as I mentioned before, in the description, you can find the Garo Gaming Twitter, Facebook page, Discord, and Patreon. So check all that stuff out, and make sure to like the video and subscribe. So until next time.